Hello everyone, well, I have another vacuum cleaner here to unbox. Now, sometimes I buy a vacuum cleaner because I like the looks of it. Other times I buy a vacuum because I know it's going to perform well. And sometimes I just buy vacuums because there's an R in the month. Now this vacuum, I don't even know the brand, if it even has a brand, but I bought this purely on looks because it looked a bit different. It wasn't expensive, but the design was quite different to a normal vacuum cleaner. So that's the only reason. I don't suppose it's going to be very good, but we'll have a look. So, it is new enough to have a full EU rating. I've just seen the brand. It's a One Concept brand. It's called One Concept. Quite a short hose, maybe 1.5 meters. But unusually, it's actually got a metal little pip thing there. Look, a metal catch. Very unusual. And we've also got, of course, suction control. Now, I didn't realise at the time when I bought this on eBay, I didn't really look that closely, but this has actually come from Germany, I think. So I don't know, I might have to put an adapter on. Tiny little, well, I'll just stick that to the screen there, and then I won't have to do the old thing afterwards. There we go. Right, the energy label, it gets a D for energy use, using on average 40.8 kilowatt hours per annum. It gets an F for dust emissions. It gets a respectable B for dust pickup from carpet. It gets an F for dust pickup from a hard floor, and it's relatively quiet at 75 decibels. And I wonder if it's all, well, no, it's got some English. Klarstein, is that? Klarstein vacuum cleaner, or Staubsauger, as it is in German. Yes, so the supplier's name or trademark is One Concept. It says it's 800 watt. Right. Lots of different languages. I suspect this is going to have a foreign plug on it. Italian, Spanish, French, English. So a bit basic. A metal tube, which is nice to see. It's only the very budgetist of budget vacuum cleaners that have plastic tubes, but it is quite short. Yeah, it fits in the screen. So that means it's quite a short, quite a lot of stooping, I think, may be involved. A crevice tool. I've just noticed it does have an adapter, so that's good. Dusting brush, at least it's a separate brush with a little angle, you can move it about. Carpet and floor nozzle. Again, very budget, just plastic of course. I would be very surprised to see a metal base on this. Litter pickers, you've got a pedal that lowers a brush at the front and a squeegee at the back. Two little wheels as well at the back, no wheels at the front. There's a little slot there for the parking bracket, which I assume there will be one on the cleaner. And here it is. It's very small. Let's pop the box out the way. We can have a look at this. Now it also comes in silver and lilac colour. Oh, no auto cord rewind. So here's the cleaner itself, a very dinky little thing. And oh look, the whole thing rotates. Let's just undo the cord. It just wraps around the base. It's sort of like a mini constellation, isn't it? But of course it doesn't float. It would be great, wouldn't it, if this floated on air like the proper constellation. That would have been fantastic. Very short cable, and as you can see, they've put an adapter on. So it would have had a 2-pin plug. In fact, it's got a 2-pin plug molded on, but it's been fitted with a UK plug. So that's good anyway, to see that I don't have to buy one of those adapters. Okay, let's move that cable out of the way. It's bagless. So yes, the whole top does look a bit sort of, I don't know, doesn't it look a bit sort of space age, a bit Star Wars, a bit R2-D2-ish? So that's good that the whole thing rotates. Of course, it's on wheels as well. We've got 4 casters here. Quite small casters, much smaller than Henry casters. Here we are, let's have a look at the label. So it's a One Concept, Chaltech. And there's a German address in Berlin. Electronic Star. Item number 100322234. Description: vacuum cleaner, 800 watt, black, red. Voltage / frequency 220 volts, 50 hertz. Rating 800 watts. It says Pila on the back for some reason. Obviously that's where the hose goes in. Just a single push button on off, no variable power. This side, it looks like there's a filter. There's also the parking slot as well. Let's have a look at the filter. Which way do you turn it? Oh, there we go. So that's all there is. Post motor anyway, black sponge. You can just about see the motor in there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but the motor's just obviously there. Pop that back on. Try and line it up. Oh, there we go. Need to line up the arrow at the top and turn it to the locked position. So if that's the exhaust end, this is the bagless container. I hope that comes out. Now again, we've got a padlock to turn it. Oh, it sort of pops out. Let's try that again. Yes. There we are. Aha! So underneath the filter, we have four little springs that help it pop out, and of course there is the fan for the motor. So it's very small. Oh, that doesn't look very good, does it? Very small capacity. I think this won't do very well with a big bag o' filth, will it? And then there's the pre-motor sponge, and then so to empty it, more padlocks. Turn it to the unlocked position. Oh dearie me. This is why I bought the vacuum on looks, not because I think it's going to be a good vacuum. And by looking at this horrible pleated little filter there, which will clog up just by looking at it, I suspect. The dirt seems to come in through this. Does it? Where does the dirt get? Oh, yes, it does. Look, there's a little flap that opens. There, look. So the dirt comes in through there and is sort of deflected with that little white piece. Oh, I don't think this is going to be very good, do you, folks? I like the finish. It's nice matte black and red. Very smart. Yeah, it was complete impulse. I was just browsing eBay, minding my own business, and this cropped up. I don't know if it was in the search or it was at the bottom of the searches I was looking at, but there's another very small arrow to line up. So that's that, and then we need to line up the arrow there we go. Turn it to locked. Oh, it's not very easy to do, but that's it, that's in. Let's pop the hose on. Is it going to go in? Oh dear. Oh, eventually, right. Didn't want to go in there. It swivels to a fashion, well, yeah, that's better. It swivels there. But of course, the whole cleaner swivels. And we can pull it along. Oh, it is quite nimble. I do like that swivel. It will get caught up, the cable. They could have made it, I mean, if this was a more expensive vacuum, maybe a bit larger, they could have made it so the cable came out of the base, which would mean having some electrical contacts, which would probably fail. But to have a fixed cable at the base and be able to swivel completely around in a circle without the cable getting in the way would have been a good touch, but not at this price. I just think it's cute. It's quite unusual. As I said, if you want this in silver and lilac, you can go for that option. The only place I've seen this is eBay. You might get it on Amazon. But it didn't even say it was called One Concept. Let's pop the old nozzle on and connect it to the handle. So yeah, I do like that actually, having the little pip type fitting. There's a hole at the top there, so you have to push it in a bit. There we go, so that's clipped into place, and of course we can adjust it, pop it on there if we want to park it. I'll give them this for a sort of a unknown brand. It is quite unusual design. I think you may agree or not. This company, One Concept, also do some of those portable washing machines. I've noticed. I've seen a sort of a single tub one. I'm not sure if they do a twin tub. Right, I'm going to take off the tube. So yeah, two small tools. It's a shame there's no upholstery nozzle. I don't know if it's supposed to come with one. I didn't really look at the tools. I don't think it has got one. Oh, they're showing assembly. They're showing putting the wheels on, but obviously they were fitted to this one. It might be okay for a small apartment with very little carpet. Catheter tube, eh? It's not a catheter tube. It's something you'd find in a hospital. What is the catheter tube? Oh, the extension tube, the telescopic extension tube. The Germans call that a catheter. Catheter tube. Can't see about care and cleaning. Just to see if the filter's washable. The filter should be cleaned once a month at least. The vacuum cleaner should be operated with filter assembled. Oh, they're calling it garbage and trash. It doesn't say about washing the filter. I'll look at that bit more carefully, but the instructions are pretty poor. Okay, it shouldn't be too noisy at 75 decibels. I think I'm going to go upstairs and get my decibel meter, because that sounds to me a bit noisier than 75. Not a very pleasant sounding vacuum, is it? And it didn't feel very powerful either. Ugh. Well, as I suspected, you might look quite funky and space age and cute, like a, I don't know, like a, you could easily put some eyes on that, couldn't you, and a mouth, if you wanted to, if you were that sad like I am. See ya. This cost me, it wasn't dirt cheap. This was, I think, $59.99 delivered. But I don't know. Let's just pull out the Doobly. Now you see that's fully extended, and even I'm having to stoop a bit. There we are. See, I don't know what that noise was. It it was squeaking something chronic, wasn't it? Oh dear. I don't recommend this. I mean, it might make if you can get it cheap enough, it might make an ideal little vacuum for a child who likes vacuums, rather than buying one of those toy ones that don't work at all. I certainly wouldn't think this is very good if you wanted a proper vacuum cleaner. Nah. Oh dear. I think that squeaking noise, you know, it does sound a bit R2D2, as if it's trying to speak to me. But I think the squeak's coming from the hose rather than the wheels. Yeah. Oh, can you hear that when it's oh, dearie me. Dearie me. It's a good job I don't need a vacuum cleaner. I'm going to put some dirt down, folks. We might as well. We might as well see how badly this does. Well, I knew it wouldn't do very well. Obviously, this is quite a lot of mess. But it started losing suction within seconds, and the noise, there's obviously some sort of bleed valve in here, a suction relief valve that's cut the suction off because it just couldn't cope. Whoops. Oh, it's awful. Well, I suspected that this would be awful, and it is. It is awful in every way, apart from I like how it looks. That's the only thing. You should never go by looks, folks. Never go by looks. Something can look very stylish and pretty, but it could be an absolutely useless article, as this is. So I'm just trying to hold it so you can see it. So easy empty, not. So, as you can see, and as I think I predicted, that pleated filter is absolutely caked. Caked! So even if we were to empty it, that's what the pleated filter still looks like. I don't know how that comes out. I mean, it's only been on a few seconds, but that bit's still clean. So far the pleated filter has stopped the dirt going through and into the motor. This must come off. Oh yes, it does. Does it? Yes. Oh, look at that. Absolute junk. I mean, there was hardly any suction when I was just using it normally, just pushing it over the carpet. There was no grip to the carpet at all. Pet air would be very poor. I'm going to have to get another vacuum. It's gone right in there, look at that. How people get away with it. As I said, well, if you've got an apartment or a flat with no carpet, No pets. You just get very light dust. Maybe, maybe this is for you, but I can't recommend it, folks. I'd be silly to say this is fantastic. Look at this. Oh, dear me. That's awkward to get off as well. I mean, I'm scared of breaking it. There's some lugs that you need to sort of get it past, and I don't think that's on. I'll just have to fiddle with this and try and get this filter back. Well, I don't think there's any point in me trying to clean up the rest of this mess with this one concept vacuum, because it will certainly not cope. A nice design, but an absolutely appalling... Oh dear, look! Oh, it's absolutely rubbish. So don't make the same mistake I've made, folks, unless you just like it because of the design. But what I might say, or will say to you, it's very probable that this vacuum will be a collector's item and featured in all the best museums of the world, because I think it's not going to last long if somebody decides to buy one. Probably end up in the bin before too long. Oh dear. One of the worst vacuums I think I've tested, or tried to test. A lovely concept, but a very poor vacuum cleaner. Anyway, if you want one, if you're mad, look on eBay or Amazon for the one concept. Doesn't really have a name unless it's called the Pila. One concept Pila. It certainly begins with a P, but Pila is not what I'd call this. But anyway, there we are. It's interesting, it's novel, it's rubbish. Thanks for watching. If you've any questions or comments about this ball-shaped vacuum, please ask in the comments section below. Thumb up, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to have to find a decent vacuum cleaner now to pick up the rest of this muck. Bye for now.